I've gotten a few emails from people who are somewhat frustrated with their progress on doing OMAD, and basically it comes back to they're not able to find the motivation to keep going. They get started and then they kind of get sidetracked because they start chasing rabbits and they just say, well, they've forgotten basically why they started doing it in the first place. Well, I wanted to offer some pointers for those of you who are starting your intermittent fasting, who are starting your once a day, how to get going and to guarantee the most success as far as your mind's reliability. Maybe I haven't talked enough about this, but you kind of have to get to a point in your mind where you realize at least you'll be a little better off. And that's the key word in this video, at least. These are the things that ran through my mind when I was about to go on one meal a day to lose all of my weight. I was 363 pounds. I felt so bad because I had binged the day before and I couldn't play with Kayla or Celeste. I was actually sick so much that it was as if I heard a voice say to me, "You're going to die, fat man. You know that, right?" I felt so terrible. And the next day is when I decided to go on OMAD. I said enough is enough. But here are the things that ran through my mind, the at leasts of OMAD. These are the things you say to yourself when you need to basically buffer yourself and say, at least I'll have this. I'll be better off than I was. Number one, at least I won't get any fatter. You can't be not doing anything to control your weight. So I said to myself that day before, when I took Kayla to play at the YMCA with all these other girls who were doing flips that none of us older people can do, I said to myself, that's a fat guy there. And if I had been less of a person, I would have wanted to put a gun in my mouth. I was that depressed and that miserable. That's number one. At least you won't get any fatter. So if I was convinced, I knew I would get my results, but I didn't really know because I hadn't done it being this heavy. I had only done it once in high school before. But at least I won't get any fatter. That was the first thing. Number two, at least I will spend less money on food. I was spending $920 on food per month for just me, not for the girls, just for me. That was a big hit. And most of that food was crap food. Boxes of Cheez-Its, boxes of Chips Ahoy, boxes of Ding Dongs, Reese's, Butterfinger, Kit Kat. I would go and buy big cartons of eggs and bacon, and I would buy big bags of rice, and I would make rice, and I would throw in as much teriyaki sauce as I could find, and I would go out to a local Chinese place, and I would buy a bunch of, like a good quart or more of General Joe's meat, a spicy meat, and I would just dump it in there and I'd make a whole bunch. Then I'd break open a bag of chips and just be eating while I'm preparing it. That's a mark of someone who's truly addicted. At least I would spend less money on food. Number three, at least I will feel better. Laying on the couch and rubbing your eyes and just sitting there and saying, God, I feel so bad. With your pancreas in full red alert because it's having to shuttle out insulin to deal with all the carbs you ate, that's not a good feeling that anybody wants. It's chasing a mirage. When you're chasing hunger, you're chasing a mirage because what you want is to be happy, fulfilled, contented, and full. But your brain has hijacked that and you're starting to chase extremism. And it's like the clone versus the original product. The clone is never as good as the original product. You should save your money and go buy the original. Spend more money and get a better product and less aggravation as opposed to saving a few bucks and getting a piece of crap. Like a lot of the flashlights they sell on eBay, 16,000 lumens, but you get it and the switch doesn't work and it's just a piece of junk. You would rather have paid $100 and gotten a good one than a piece of crap that's $20. At least you'll feel better. At least, I said to myself, I will spend less time on the toilet. I don't want to TMI you here, but for those of you who struggle with gastrointestinal issues, my friends, it can all be cured with OMAD. It will be cured with OMAD. And I have talked to people with Crohn's disease. Obviously, that's a more extreme example. But we're talking lots of people that have the I've got to get home right now, we just ate, hurry, drive faster situations. When you're in that situation, trust me, I understand exactly where you're coming from. I said to myself, this was actually a motivating factor. At least I won't spend so much time on the toilet. That was a reality. My family, my friends, they all joked about it. But for me, it was no joke. That was actually a motivational factor to do OMAD. Number 5, I will not be seen eating. It became a byword in my house about me eating because I would come home with a big box of something. I could never order a plate at Taco Cabana. I would have to order 4 plates. And everybody would, of course, make fun of it, which they really kind of should have. But I would go to work, and I would always reward myself by eating too much. I would say, I have an audit to do at work, and I'm going to be really busy all night doing paperwork, and I hate that. So I'm going to reward myself with a 16-piece box of chicken and 2 large mashed potatoes, 4-piece biscuits and with gravy and honey. I'd get the packets of honey at Chicken Express, and I would eat enough salty food to get my ears streaking red with my already high blood pressure. Sad, sad cycle of horrible eating. But I didn't want to be seen eating. I would go to work, and it was my coworkers would talk about it. They'd look at that big bag of Chicken Express and say, that thing's going to be gone before the end of the night. And they were right. It always would be. I actually wanted people to stop talking about it. And people kept ripping on me for my weight and saying all these cruel things, which were very good things in hindsight. And number 6, I will be able to spend more time with my family, aka play with Michaela and Celeste again. I was always the guy laying on the couch and saying, that's good, hon. When Kayla would come up and show me a picture of something, I wasn't even looking at it because my eyes were closed or I was doing this. And I felt so bad that it was hard to get up and pick her up, put her on the trampoline, put her on the swing, or if she fell, to get out there and help her up. I would be able to spend time, quality time with the people I loved. So that's six things. At least you won't get any fatter. At least you will spend less money on food. At least you will feel better. At least you will spend less time on the commode. At least you will not be seen eating and made fun of. And number 6, at least you'll be able to spend more quality, physically active time, physically and mentally active with the people you love.